Hello, everyone. Welcome to Liberal Tarot. I'm Sherry, and I'm a blue dot in a red state, just kind of navigating through current events through the use of tarot. So I really appreciate you joining me today. And wow, these past few, 24 hours, 48 hours, it's been a little bit of a wild ride. So what I do is I do several readings at once. I record them and then I upload them and then I go through, and schedule them and, all that kind of stuff. And so I actually have videos scheduled for the next week. But yet all this news keeps happening. So I don't know if I'll push those off or make these bonus videos, but whatever it is, whenever breaking news happens, rest assured I will jump on here and I will kind of unpack that. And that's really why I'm doing this channel and why I'm utilizing tarot is that, I was seeing how much comfort it was giving me because like you read the news, you hear the news and you're just like the anxiety and the stress. And it's like, okay, so now when that happens, take a deep breath and know that I am more than likely going to post a video on it, kind of unpacking it with tarot so we can see the energy that's around it, kind of see where is this going, how are we going to navigate through this. And as I said, I found a lot of comfort in it for me. I found, very grounding for me. So that's why I'm now offering it to my readings to everyone here on YouTube. So I appreciate you being here. So, with all of that being said, this reading I'm going to focus on the signal text messages that the editor has now released. If you saw I did a reading yesterday, and what it showed was that the Trump administration, man, they are just gonna double down and just plow through this. Nobody's gonna resign, no apologies, no nothing, and that's kind of what it appeared to be yesterday. Especially in that hearing and just some of the statements and comments that were coming out from other White House officials. They insist that there was absolutely nothing classified on that chat, on that thread. So if you saw in the hearing, one of the senators said, so if the editor released all of this, that would be fine. And I mean, the deer in the headlight looks was just, classic. Because this is after they had said repeatedly there was no classified information. So the senator said, so it would be fine to release. And they were like, we're not going to answer that type question or type answer. I understand the severity of this and just how serious it is, but it's comical in just the absurdity of it. So when I laugh, it's just like I'm laughing at just the absolute idiocracy of the situation. It's just like, could you be any more sloppy about this? So, what happened was then the editor and the Atlantic reached out, to get permission for this, and they finally received a response back from Lion Caroline, the spokesperson there, and she was like, we have repeatedly said there is no classified information, but we would prefer you not to release those. Okay, well, it's not classified, and just because you prefer, that's not saying no. So they released it. Now, the only thing that I understand that's been redacted is that CIA agent's name. They did keep that redacted. I did read through the texts, and if that's not classified, wow. I mean, I could understand maybe, like after it happened, but not like if he had published that stuff while it was happening, that could have been very damaging. It's damaging enough the way it is, because now we know how they all feel about, our European allies. And, yeah, so what I'm going to do is, now that the texts have been fully released, and this obviously is not going away the way the Trump administration would like, they want, the way they want it to go away. They just want to go, nothing to see here, keep on moving. So I just kind of want to see is there going to be continued fallout? Where does it go from here? Yesterday I wasn't showing that anybody was going to resign, but that was also before everything was released. So I kind of want to look at that as well. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started with this. As always, this is for entertainment purposes only. Oh, and you might notice I'm using a different deck. I usually use, this is the deck I usually use. It's the Morgan Greer. I just love the artwork on this. But I thought today, I kind of have been referencing the Rider-Waite, so I thought I would use the Rider-Waite today. So this is my Rider-Waite deck. Okay, so let's just start with, I would like to do a base reading around the energy surrounding the full release, or the release of the full text thread that was released today. What is going to be where's this going to go? Now that these text messages have been released, where does it go from here? As always, this is for entertainment purposes only. Well, those just kind of flipped around. Let's shuffle one more time. Okay, so these text messages, where does this go from here? King of Cups. I usually see this as, you know, the irrational man in charge. So this is Mad King Don here. And he's probably not very happy. You know, people just don't like him. And the Tower card. Okay, you saw me shuffle. I was not expecting this combo. So I'll definitely put more cards out. The Tower card, this is the shit hits the fan. And this is what's crossing him. So this is really blowing up. I wonder if this is like he's blowing up, he's exploding, or this is just all falling down around him. With other readings that I've been doing, and I am going to do a video reading, something about like all of these cases are on this convergence. It's all on this course to combine, to come together and just be the Tower card. So we're well on that course. So I'm curious if who's gonna explode first, the country or Don there. So much disappointment. This is a card of disappointment, but what I like about this card is the hope that's in here, and it's those Two of Cups right there. And that is, yeah, there's a lot of damage that's been done, but there's still hope here. Okay, so in other words, yeah, I mean, I guess the other way you could look at this is they're not quite done, you know, destroying our country. They still got a couple more things to do. I don't want to read it that way, though. We're going to read it more like this is just the disappointment in this. And things that are blocked. They are trying to cover this up, and I don't know how they can continue trying to cover it up because it's all out in the open now. All of those messages have been released. That's interesting. So what I get is this is what's coming in, and it's the Page of Pentacles. And pages are messengers, and then pentacles, money, and security. So this could be, you know, just what we saw in those text messages. It wasn't the full chain of messages there because he had left the chat. Oh my gosh, can you imagine what they thought whenever it was like, you know, so and so has left the chat. You know, they get to see that. So this is saying like there was more that we're not going to see because he only had a portion of those before he left. So these are going to be those text messages, and that we got to see, you know, who knows what happened after he left the chat. You know, will we ever see those? And this actually, now that I'm looking at this a little bit more, that could be this Five of Cups. This could be that we saw most of it, but there's more to see. But wait, there's more. There's always more with this. And that what we didn't see, that could really be that Tower card, that it's even worse. Good God, it's even worse. Let's just let that sit for a moment. And then the Knight of Pentacles, offering something more, changes in security. Oh, this could be definitely changes in our national security. How about we start with not using, I mean, Signal was technically encrypted, but it wasn't like SCIF level encrypted. And the reporting is they needed to be in a SCIF to be doing these things. And, you know, maybe not exactly in Russia at the time, which that was showing that, you know, one of them was in Russia at the time. So this is, you know, changes in security, changes in this. But the way this comes up is this Tower card is what is really, I'm looking here. This is the Major Arcana card. So with this, I'm curious about what exactly happens with this tower card. Because if you take, I'm going to set this out. If you take this aside, you've got Mad King Don. We don't know everything that there is to know. There's still more out there for us to see. These are text messages, and I'm kind of wondering, since this is the page and I'm reading this as we got to see a few of the text messages, are we going to get to see more? That is kind of how I'm feeling with this. And if we, the public, don't get to see it, I wonder if Congress gets to see it. The people on those committees get to see it. Because what you're getting is that it's even more explosive. What wasn't released is even more explosive. So I'm curious more about this tower card. What do we need to know about this tower card? What exactly what shit is hitting what fan, and where does that land? Is that against the reporter? Is that against Trump? I mean, it was coming up here in the center, and it could be him lashing out. And, he takes this burn it all down approach just to cover his ass. And so I wonder, as I said, I just want to get more clarification on the tower card, because that tower card could go a lot of different directions. And now would be a really great time, as I'm shuffling, to go ahead and hit like and subscribe. I appreciate you supporting my channel. Okay, so more clarification on the tower card. Defending oneself. And trying new beginnings. Not exactly the cards that I was expecting to see here. It's like he's defending himself, or someone's having to defend their position. They want to go in a new direction. I wonder if, now, in that original reading, okay, let me pull this up here real quick. In the original reading that I got the tower card with that. I believe. I'm trying to remember. I think I did. And so what... Yeah, so what I'm going to do is, if I can figure out how to put like the links in here, I'm going to put the link to that previous reading that I did, like right up here. If you do not see that link, that means that I did not figure it out, but I will link that to the at the end, on the end cards. I do know how to do that. So I know editing is not my friend. So what I got with that was Trump, he likes to, the tower card came up in that. He likes to try to move the news cycle off one story onto another by doing something just even more horrendous. So I'm wondering if that's kind of the feeling I'm getting. Like, he may do something that's just god awful. I mean, spin the wheel, pick something that, he could be god awful about. And that this is his attempt to change the news cycle and to move it away from this just catastrophic national security debacle. So all of that to say, I'm going to try to link that in there. If not, then it'll be at the end. Okay, so this tower card is, expect him to, that's his MO. When things don't go his way, he tries to something even more bombastic. Pam Bondi, I have consistently been getting her as Pam Bondi, which is really interesting, because you would think that our Attorney General would come up as the Justice Department, or, the Justice card for the Justice Department, the swords, the Queen of Swords or the King of Swords for the legal. However, I get her as the messenger. It's almost like she's out there doing PR. She's the spokesperson for the Department of Justice. She's not actually doing any legal work. She's just out there being the little cheerleader for it. So expect some messaging from her, and that could be part of this trying to change the news cycle, that whole tower card. This is like shining light. The opposite of this is keeping things in the dark. So it's this feeling of, we're going to go, whatever she says, it's this feeling of this isn't the truth, is what I'm feeling here. Like, they try to say whatever they say, look, either read between the lines, or it's like something completely different than what they're saying. Yeah, they are acting, they're just, And here is this is still the fox in the hen house. They're lying. So whatever it is that they're doing, they could be creating chaos. They know they have to defend themselves. They want this news cycle to go like in a new direction. And so expect some messaging out there from the Department of Justice with Pam Bondi, saying that she's going to take charge here. She's going to take charge, and I kind of wonder if it's not going to be something against the Atlantic. And you have that they're lying. Okay, so I want some clarification on the Queen of Wands. What is this? Who, if this is Pam Bondi, what is it that she thinks she's taking charge of? Okay, and just some 3 cards. Secrets, keeping things hidden, doing this for our country. Like she's doing this for our country. She's fighting the fight. And just be patient. I wonder if this isn't, I kind of wonder if this isn't we're going to investigate this, and then that report never sees the light of day. They're hoping people forget about it and move on. That's really the feeling I'm getting from this, is that she may say, oh yeah, we're going to investigate, we're going to look at this, but I don't really. It's all lies. It's with that 7 of Swords and the Moon card together. Don't trust what they're saying. We would trust what they're saying anyway. But this is coming up that they're saying they're just putting whatever they can out there, seeing what sticks, so that they can move that news cycle onto something else. This seems rather benign compared to like that Tower card. So I wonder, that Tower, that's something that I will definitely be watching. So the next question I have is, yesterday I was getting that nobody was going to resign. And I know that Mike Walls and Pete Hegseth have got the heat on them to resign. So I'm going to ask again today. Now that we have the full text messages up until the point that, he left the chat, now that we have that, is anyone going to resign? And with resigning, this is somebody who is playing at being the boss. This is someone who, Pete Hegseth, he's playing at being the, Secretary of Defense. They're playing at it. They're really not, they're not qualified for these jobs. And their inexperience is showing. Like that signal thing they say that a lot of journalists use it. Well, okay, Pete, you're not a journalist anymore. You're actually the head of of an agency, and one that needs to have a more secure way of communicating. And the Justice Department, or Justice. The sword comes down. I wonder who they're going to scapegoat at. And also, this could be a scapegoat. This could be somebody that they realize they can do without. I wonder if this isn't Mike Walls resigning to take the heat. He'll be the scapegoat here. This is someone who's battle weary, someone who's looking at their options. And these 2 cards together, the 10 of Pentacles with the 9 of Wands, the feeling I'm getting from these is take one for the team. I will resign. Let's try to move on from this, and I'll be the scapegoat and take one for the team. That's the strong feeling that I'm getting with these cards, especially these 2 together. A lot of bickering, a lot of fighting. The bickering and fighting. They're just, these people are just whacking each other. They don't even care. So just a lot of bickering, fighting. They're all fighting each other. So this, I get the feeling like, I'm not going to resign. No, you resign. You resign. No, it's his fault. No, it's his fault. No, she did this. No, she did that. That's what I'm getting with this. They're all trying to throw each other under the bus. And technically it was, Walls that's, put him in there. So I think that's why I'm saying he's probably, if there's going to be anybody resign, it's going to be him. And you get this Queen of Swords, somebody making the decision to do this. So somebody makes the decision to resign. And I think that, I'm going to go with Mike Walls. or Waltz. How do you say his last name? I don't even care to pronounce his name correctly. So that guy, I think he's going to be the one to resign. And it's just because they're looking for a scapegoat. Um, any other ramifications? I know that both the House and Senate, surprisingly, the Republicans are looking at maybe, having some hearings. So will those hearings happen? And those hearings, very quickly, this is a lot of emotion. The Ace of Cups. Our cup floweth over with emotions. Now, a lot of times people see this and they're like, oh, it's the love card. Yeah, it is. It can be. It can also be what I call some of those harsher feelings. This is the big feels. We got big feels going on. And the Republicans that I've seen, some of them, no, not all of them, but some of them have just can't believe what happened here. And controlling the beast. I think that this is kind of indicating that Congress might actually want to exert some of their checks and balances. They have been feeling out of the loop. This is this is a card of feeling left out in the cold. They have not been the checks and balances that they need to be. They have not been that co-equal branch of government. So this is kind of the feeling of, yeah, we'll do this. All of those text messages have been released. It's almost this feeling of, we'll do this to kind of placate the masses. We'll get somebody to resign. It'll all be fine. We'll throw together a hearing. I mean, it's feeling more like they want to exert their control, their powers as a co-equal branch on something that really is probably going to run its course. It's a weird feeling. It's not this feeling of, yes, this righteous cause that we are going to get to the bottom of this. It's more of, well, we can do this and maybe, people won't be so mad at us. Getting to the bottom of it, Ten of Swords. Let me see what else comes up here, because this is what's coming in. It's almost like the administration doesn't want them to do this, and they try to stop it. Yeah, I think what's coming in here is they had said hearings, but they also said that they couldn't believe that January 6th happened and he was a criminal, but yet they didn't vote against. They voted, the Senate voted against impeachment. So it's kind of that type of feeling, like this. They're going to say that they want to do this, but these aren't real strong cards, and that the administration kind of puts a stop to it. So yeah, with that, I'm not getting real strong cards that they're going to, if they have hearings, I would be really surprised. That, or maybe it's closed doors and that report never sees the light of day, or the Trump administration puts a stop to it. It's just like they say they want to, but these aren't real strong cards. The strong cards are the Tower card. This is now blown up. It's related to, Dawn there in the middle, or, in the center of that base reading. And that what I got yesterday was they don't care. They're just going to barrel forward. They don't care. Expect some messaging from Pam Bondi. Expect some, some posturing over, we're going to have hearings. Now, I did get that if anyone's going to resign, it's more than likely going to be Mike Walls. I just don't see Hegseth or whatever his name is. I don't see him resigning. But the other one, if there's going to be somebody resign, it will more than likely be him. So that's what I'm getting with this today. I will keep track of this as the news happens. I will definitely be doing more of these readings, whether it's this or any other breaking news. I'm fairly certain we're not going to be in any shortage of breaking news. So thank you so much for spending some of your time with me. If you could like and subscribe, and then I will link those other videos in here as well that I was referring to with the Atlantic that I did yesterday. So if I didn't figure out that link for, the beginning. It should be showing up right now as we speak. So thank you very much for joining me, and I will catch you on the next video.